Also, by the way, if you guys want to ask me questions, like for the upcoming podcast, I usually like put something on Instagram, like a couple days in advance for the podcast. You guys can just like ask me if you guys want me to answer a question, or you can always just hit me up on my Instagram page at RedBatFlip. It will, and just ask me like questions, and there's a decent shot that they could get in the podcast because right now I'm trying to fill time because I don't have a ton to talk about because I'm still kind of getting used to this. So I'm kind of trying to think about like what's best and what works best and stuff like that. So, anyway, next I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the week. The Reds went 1-4, not impressive at all. Monday was an off day, and then Wednesday got rained out. But it will be a doubleheader that will be made up on August 31st, a day-and-night doubleheader in St. Louis. Once again, we had no offense. It's becoming a reoccurring theme. But we only scored 10 runs in 5 games. So, yeah, I mean, you got to figure out how to score runs, But the bullpen was solid all week, as was the rotation. Basically, same story all year. Bullpen's been solid. Rotation's been well above average. Offense, nowhere to be found. It was really good to see Castillo get back on the right track and not have a terrible outing. Same with Disco. Castillo talked about how the extra rest really helped him between starts and, getting the off days stuff in there and, the rain out, or not the rain out, you know what I mean. Just the off days really helped him, especially with his changeup. He said it helped him not to force a changeup at all. And then Malley had another good start to prove why he'll be in the rotation long term. Votto looked really good, but although there was a lot of positives in the week, there was just way too many negatives. And honestly, I mean, I'm gonna give this team a D+ for the week as far as a grade. I mean, the offense is just killing us at this point. Like, we're just gonna slowly just not be in contention for much longer if this offense doesn't wake up, because it's getting to the point where teams are going to start getting hot. We have to start making up ground now. There's only 100 games left. You can't wait till there's 60 games left to make up 6 games. It's just too much pressure. And I mean, right now, if we win 60, there's 100 games left exactly. If we win 60 games, we'll be an 88-74 team, which, I don't think would be good enough for a playoff or for a National League Central Division championship. But I definitely think we could grab at that second wild card spot. And, we got Castillo, and if Castillo could, you never know what Castillo could do. But yeah, I mean, something also major that happened in the major leagues, or not major leagues, but in baseball, was the amateur draft, and the Reds had 40 picks in the draft. The Reds had the 7th overall selection in the 2019 draft. And with the first round pick, the Reds selected who many thought they would, Nick Lodolo, or Lodel. I really don't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah, I mean, he was the best pitcher in the draft by many. Some people see Blake Snell potential in him. Others only see like a third starter, which obviously Blake Snell won the AL Cy Young last year. So, yeah, I mean, Nick Lodolo, TCU left-handed pitcher, 6'6", from Laverne, California. He's 21 years old. He just finished up his junior year at TCU. He was drafted by the Pirates in 2016, but he never signed. He probably didn't want to, throw at people intentionally, so that's probably why he didn't sign with the Pirates. He throws his fastball anywhere from 91 to 96 miles per hour, but usually lives around 93 to 94. the fastball has gotten a lot better this year because of the command of it. He has 3 average offerings right now: a fastball, slider, and a changeup. All 3 pitches have potential to be plus offerings with plus command of all 3. Which, if he can do those things, Lodulo could profile as a top of the rotation Cy Young candidate every year. Or, at his very, very minimum, people say he could be a mid-rotation starter. But, I think he's going to learn how to command those 3 pitches and throw them consistently for strikes and really refine them. And I think he's going to be in Cincinnati for a while if he can do that. And he'll be there very, very quickly, in my opinion. Just because, you got anytime you have a big, tall lefty with a wipeout slider like that, or a potential for a wipeout slider, there's always upside. Kind of like a Cody Reed, who had command problems, and not that Nick has had command problems in the least. He really hasn't. He just needs to work on just the refinement of his pitches. Occasionally he can, not snap off a breaking ball as much as he needs to, and it kind of hang in the middle of the plate area. So who knows? We'll see though. He should be signing here pretty quickly and probably send him off to either Greenville or Billings. But I mean, he's pretty. Yeah, he may not even go there. He may go straight to Dayton, Single A, because he's pretty well developed. I mean, he's got the basics down. He's 21 years old, best pitcher in the draft. He should, honestly, I could see him competing for a spot in 2021. Probably starts next year in Double A, pitches half there, then pitches half the year in Triple A. And maybe comes 2021, competes for a spot out of camp in the rotation. Could definitely see that happening. And then the Reds, with their second round pick, got Reese Hines. Great power. I mean, people said he had the best power in the entire draft. He was the home run derby at Perfect Game USA, which is like a big college or like a big scouting thing where a bunch of scouts go. It's huge. It's where all the big guys who get drafted early go. It's really a good place to showcase your talents. And then he's 6'4", 210 pounds. With him, the biggest concern is just going to be the swing and miss in his game. From what I was reading, he has really long arms and can really get to any ball. He's from IMG Academy. He plays shortstop, but many think he will end up at third base long term, just because he may be a little bit too big for shortstop. But I mean, who knows? He could be a lot more athletic than we think. Just only time will tell. And I mean, he's only in high school too. So he's probably going to grow a little bit more. They'll definitely gain some weight, some muscle, which is always helpful, especially when you already hit freaking homers all the freaking time. Can't relate to that. I'm sorry, guys. Not that good. But Tyler Callahan, the Reds got with their third pick. Sorry, some of these names are extremely hard to pronounce when you haven't heard them consistently for a few months or whatever. But he's an infielder from Providence School in Jacksonville, which is also a high school. The Reds went way over slot in the third round to draft him, to sign him, and he already has signed, which is, you could tell that the Reds wouldn't have done something like that if they knew that he wasn't going to sign, but thankfully he did. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, bats lefty, throws righty, lots of bat speed with quick hands. I was actually watching some highlights of him, and he has got some really, really quick hands. He gets that ball up and out of his hand. He hits a lot of line drives, and he's one of the most experienced hitters in the draft, and he's got good speed for his size. But yeah, I was reading that he's been playing up, what I mean by up, if you're 10 or 10 years old, you could be playing with 12-year-olds when you were a kid, a freshman making a varsity team, playing against a bunch of seniors. Like, that's kind of like playing up, you know. So, yeah, I was watching some film. He's got a pretty solid arm, but his quick hands are just really, really good. And then Ivan Johnson, who's a switch hitting middle infielder from Atlanta, Georgia. He stands at 6 feet tall, 188 pounds. So, not a huge dude, but solid size. He's a great defender. He's got quick hands, even better hands than Tyler Callahan. Just an all-around great defender. Very athletic. He's got a line drive swing, which a lot of scouts say that he probably won't hit a ton of home runs, just because, he's got one of those line drive swings. It's not a huge uppercut swing, so we'll see about that. We'll see what happens there. Time will tell. He's got a big leg kick too, and apparently he's got great bat speed as well. So good bat speed is what generates a lot of hard hit balls and possibly even a lot of home runs. And but yeah, I mean, if you guys like this draft stuff, then let me know, and I can kind of go through next week. I can go through maybe like 5 through 10. Those were only the Reds' first 4 picks. I can maybe do 5 through 10 next week. If you guys like that, just hit me up on Instagram or whatever, or let me know. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about is who our best player is right now. In my opinion, it's Eugenio Suarez. He's great pop. He drives in runs consistently. He's our most consistent hitter. Plays solid defense as well. Of course, he's got the really, really, really nice swing. He's got a 271 average this year with 14 home runs. He's got 40 RBIs, 13 doubles, 25 walks to 61 strikeouts. Strikeouts are a little bit high, but he does have a 346 on base percentage with a 516 slugging percentage, which rounds out to about an 862 OPS, which anytime that OPS is around 900, that's how you know that you got a pretty elite hitter. And I mean, that's really what Suarez is. I think the next thing that would just take his game to the next level is the strikeouts. Just cut down on those a little bit. But yeah. And I mean, last offseason, he signed a 6-year, $66 million deal with a club option for 2025. So it's a really team-friendly deal. It doesn't hurt the payroll at all, hardly. Went through its final year of arbitration and then decided to sign that. So this is really the first year that this contract is quote unquote in place, because you got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So you got this original 6 years there starting this year, and then 2025 would be the 7th year of the contract, and it is a club option for $15 million, which at that time Suarez will be 35 or 34, or no, he'll be 35, and so who knows if he'll still be productive at that time. Who knows? We'll see. A lot can happen in the next 7 years or whatever, 6-7 years. And then another thing that I want to talk about here is, are we contenders?